and strong. Those in positions of power and authority bear the heaviest of responsibilities. We join this motion today because our care leaders who are with us today, those who never made it to today, deserve that protection, and they didn't get it. They deserved it. And it is no consolation to say to people it was a different time. No, those standards applied then as much as they do today. We fail those in institutionalised out-of-home care in this state, and this apology is well deserved. So many thousands of young Victorians were in out-of-home care, and the Premier rightly accounted for many of them. Whether it was the most barbaric form of physical abuse, whether it was frankly child exploitation, whether it was sexual abuse, for many it destroyed them. They may have pressed on, but they were never the same. The scars were deep and beyond anything to remedy. And it is a mark of the strength and resilience of the people who are with us today, and those watching online, and those who can't join us today. It is a miracle of the human spirit that they could survive that. I've had the pleasure in recent weeks of talking to many survivors who went through the horrors of that treatment, and it is impossible not to be moved. As I've said, many were put in employment settings that today we would consider primitive, unacceptable, in domestic settings, under the guise of this is charitable, this is benevolent. Well, it wasn't. It was wrong. It was wrong then, it was wrong now. As I've said, many faced rampant forms of abuse. And whilst our words today cannot remedy that, it will be of enormous comfort to those who are here today and those who can't join us, that this historic statement today by this Parliament, coming together as one, will offer that kind of healing. It wasn't just those who went through the horrors that have been explained in the lead up to today and in the Premier accounted. It was those around them too, siblings with whom they'd lost touch, parents who were grieving to make contact yet again, one more time, with the children they had lost. And the grounds for removing children were primitive. Many cases, if you look at the records, it just says neglect. Many will tell you when you speak to them that frankly they were removed because they were considered poor. That is not the mark of a civilised country. And we mark ourselves against that dictum I spoke about before by this test. How well do we, as an advanced and civilised people, look after the most vulnerable? And so it was that we didn't meet that standard, and that's why today it is important to come together as we do. I had the pleasure last week of meeting with Leonie Sheedy, and I joined the Premier in her comments about Leonie. She frankly is a force of nature. I know she's joining us today. And she's emblematic of that resilience that we marvel at when we see it. And ask ourselves the question, how would we weather that kind of treatment? And Leonie Sheedy, as one of the co-founders of Clan, is a testament to that human spirit. There are so many sliding door moments in our lives, and there was one in 1992 when Leonie just happened to see an ad, one of 175 that had been placed in papers in New South Wales. And from there, Clan eventually would be born, as she collaborated with people like Joanne Penglaze and other members of Clan whom the Premier has rightly acknowledged today, including current Clan President Sue Whittaker-Stevens. That one sliding door moment is why we're sitting here today. And Leonie told me of so many of the people she's fought for over the years, harrowing stories, even in most recent times, How those people survived is a miracle. But we have to do more than just apologise today. We think that's enough, we'd be mistaken. Our apology must be supplemented by a real and active commitment to make sure that those children who need care and don't have the loving arms of a family, that unconditional love, get it from us. So today is not just an apology. Today is and must be a challenge to all of us who sit in the chambers of this Parliament to do everything we can to ensure that nothing like the horrors we've been told about occur again. It's hard, but we must do that. We know that many of these stories touch us by one or more degrees of separation, and in my own case,